Shut it off. Hello and welcome to the Stoppage Time Penalty Show. To Bruce here, the founder of this amazing platform. Thank you for listening and watching. Please like and subscribe. We're going to go straight into this. We have a lot to digest and a lot to talk about. So, of course, we literally have the semi-final live draw happening later on this evening. And I've got Blue from Shibu coming on. And again, it's going to be live. And then we also have a chat regarding yesterday's game, Independent versus Hollington. And I've got some amazing guests coming on as well. So anyway, let me take this off. Again, my name is Fabrice, founder of the amateur football platform. Let's go straight into the results from yesterday. So let's start with Division 1. Independent versus Hollington, and that was in the League Cup, 0-0, 4-2 on penalties. LSU Masters, home win against Johnston and Phillips. Metro Gas 2, New Park 1, and Santos and Charcoal was in the League Cup quarterfinals, 1-1 after extra time, 3-4 on penalties. And this is how the league looks at this present moment in time. Independent first, LSU Masters second, Charcoal third, Leone Stars fourth, Sporting Santos fifth, Glebe sixth, New Park seventh, Metro Guts eighth, and Johnston and Phillips ninth. And these are the fixtures for next week. Herne Bay versus Metro Gas in the cup. LSU Masters versus Kawuya, also in a cup competition. New Ash Green versus Glebe, also in a cup competition. Johnson and Phillips versus Independent in the league. Leone Stars versus Sporting Santos in the league, and New Park versus Charcoal. Let's go to Division 2. Bow Street and Wallingham, not too sure what that result was. Not too sure. If anyone knows, please let me know. Kawuya 3, Seagas 1, Knott'sborough Vets 0, LSU Legends 3, and Parkwood Rangers 2, Norwood Lakers 1. And this is how the table stands right now. Catford first, Hollington second, Wallingham third, Kawuya fourth, Seagas fifth, Bow Street Runners sixth, Parkwood Rangers 7th, Legends 8th, and Norwood Lakers 9th. And the fixtures for next week, Herne Bay versus... wrong one. Where are they? Okay, so... Oh, have I got them twice? Literally got them twice. If you guys hold on, I can put this on. This is what I love about live. Sometimes you can get it wrong. And I have got it wrong. There are a few fixtures happening, and I do not have next week's fixtures for Division 2. I always think I'm going to get this nailed. There's always one thing, either a table missing or something else missing. But you know what? It is what it is. Guys, again, this is, this is live. So, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just going to wait for the guests to come on. But before that, I want to say big shout out to Welling United Football Club. There's a collaboration happening. Honestly, just kind of great work behind the scenes where the amateur football platform can actually offer free tickets to anyone under 16 and discounted tickets to any adults as well. I will get exclusive content to the men's and women's scene. Honestly, it's absolutely amazing. And literally, I cannot wait to get started. So yeah, as we wait for like the first guests, just to let you know that I was actually at the independent Hollington game, and yeah, it was a very interesting game, and I literally want to look at it on, I'd say, in kind of different perspectives. One like from of course the referee, who's Nana. One like from a spectator, Chris Walker, and someone who's neutral to like all of this is Jamal Horn. So let me add Nana to the feed. Nana, how you doing, sir?
I'm great, brother. How are you?
I'm good. It's just you and I at this present moment in time.
Typical, isn't it?
Did you have any games today?
I had two. I had a Plumstead Cup challenge with Hatcham versus Mildeen at 10:30, and at 12:30 I did a Westphal Woolwich and Eltham Sunday League game between two Greenwich teams. It's like a bit of a local derby as well. The Greenwich Cruisers and Sporting Greenwich. You know, I'm absolutely shattered. I haven't done four games in the weekend for a very long time, and I forget I'm not 21 anymore.
And before we talk about yesterday's game, again, what do you think about the standard of refereeing in the kind of Masters League?
It could be better. It could be absolutely better. We need to realize that, like, speaking from my perspective, when I took the role as a referee secretary, it was to change and help develop young referees into this league, i.e. the right referees for the right games. Because for a long time it was a vets league and people considered it as like walking football. There was a lot of disrespect to this league. But now it's apparent that, as soon as young folk hit 35, they are joining the vets league. So it's becoming more competitive. They are fit, and it's apparent for you to see some of the people who play in the vets league now, especially in the top 3 divisions, are able to play in open age football. So the pace, the power, the talent is unbridled. However, the same old referees of old, I could say the referee average age is between probably 28 till 60, 65. And this is talking, the higher end of that spectrum. So, and we have to compete with the LFA on the county games and all Saturday league games. So it's very, very difficult to get referees here. But slowly we are getting a lot more referees into here. Yeah, that's the man that
I know.
Wow. Come on.
Yeah, I appoint referees. I appoint referees and I appoint referees, and then I get an email saying that they are on county cup games, so then they have to come off my game.
No, a county cup is not specific. County cup officers don't like their cups being called county cups because it's not specific. So which county do you mean?
LFA. I get emails saying the LFA landing cup games.
Which LFA?
So the referees obviously the county cup games take precedent over league games and all others.
This is the issue with Nana. Nana has an issue with specificity. See, saying county cup LFAs, Lincolnshire FA, Liverpool FA. Which LFA do you mean?
Bro,
say what you say.
London FA.
Okay,
I am a referee as well, and I'm telling you that referees, if I'm appointed on another game, for example, Woolwich and Eltham game, and Jamal sends me a message saying,
"No, don't bring up another league. Don't bring up another league.
You are the appointments officer. You are the appointments officer. So if I get a game, regardless of whichever game I'm on, I have to respect that. So I have to go with Jamal's game, i.e. the London FA's game, which is okay. So I mean, what I'm saying is this is what we're competing with. So it's very, very, very. No, obviously,
why do London FA Cup games take priority over league matches? To tell the public, because the public may not know.
Well, you are the appointments officer. I'll let you explain. I'm not going to say nothing on that
as well. You should know why. Why do they take precedence?
I'll let you answer that.
No. I'm asking you. You brought it up.
I'm not answering that.
Topic. You have to
I'm
tell
not
everyone.
answering that. I'm not answering that.
Because you don't know.
I'm not answering that.
Why? Why are you not answering it?
Because you are the appointments officer, so you can say why they take precedence over.
Yeah, but you just told everyone that if you get given a London Cup game, that takes priority over a League Cup match. So then tell everyone why it does. You must know why.
So far as I understand, I'm registered with the London FA.
Mm-hmm.
I got into refereeing via the London FA.
Mm-hmm.
So I owe allegiance to the London FA. So if the London FA gives me games, I am obliged, especially when it's a county cup game, to take that game. Okay. That's
what's the difference between
one of my main?
What's the difference between a London Cup game and a league match? What's the difference?
There's so many leagues around London that I can join in the league.
What's the difference between a cup match and a league match? Come on.
The league didn't get me registered as a referee.
No, I get that. Let's go to about the match itself. What is the difference between a cup match and a league match?
A cup match and a league match. London FA.
Any cup match and a league match. Yeah. What's the difference?
It's a cup competition.
So one is a knockout competition, meaning if the team loses, they're out of the competition, right?
Yes.
So
yes. Obviously.
That's the reason why.
It's slightly more important. That's what you're saying.
Secondly, a league can run up until the end of May. The London Cup final sometimes is in March. So that's the only reasons. Those are the only two reasons why they take precedence, because the final is sooner. Okay. And there are more league matches. And when a league runs behind, they have the option to do double headers. You can't do that in a cup match. So those are the reasons why it takes precedence. So I think a lot of people understand that county cup match. So any county cup takes priority, and FA competition matches take priority for referee appointments. Well, I don't think a lot of people understand why. That's the reason why. So you're making it seem like everyone's doing their appointments and we just come in and hijack the officials. It's not.
I never said that, Jamal. Nobody said that.
It's like that a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We could definitely.
People should know. People should know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a valid conversation, and it's something that we should definitely talk about. Chris, thank you so much for coming on. Let me just apologize. I didn't actually give you the link until like 8 o'clock, so apologies.
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
Apologies.
That's typical to Breeze, isn't it?
So let's go straight into it. Independent versus Hollington in the league quarterfinal yesterday. Chris, I will start with you. I'd love to get your analysis of the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good game, to be fair. At the start, I would say we didn't know what to expect, but I thought Hollington definitely had like a really high-powered forward line where we thought, maybe they could run away a bit quite early. They were really, really good first 15, 20 minutes of the game. I would say Independent, really, really impressive with the way they dealt with the pressure. Hollington did have a couple of really good chances in the first half where, had they taken them, it could have been a different game. But Independent were really, really good, stuck to their task, and once they could get themselves into the game, it became more even. Like I said, once they got to half time at 0-0, I think they just sort of regrouped. They were probably happy with their first half display, shutting them out. And in the second half, Hollington just looked like, they probably just started to run out of ideas. They weren't quite sure how to break them down. They were really good at the back. Once the game went on a little bit longer, I think Hollington did start to look a little tired towards the second half of that second half, and Independent looked really strong in the last 15, 20 minutes. Probably looked like they could have nicked it themselves, to be fair. But, once it gets to penalties, it's a lottery at that point. Anything can happen. And, probably two players you wouldn't expect to miss penalties, miss them. And the rest is history, I guess. But it was a really good game. And I was impressed with both sides, to be fair. Two really good sides.
Cool. And to you, Nana, what would you say to anyone that actually probably had a feeling of a conflict of interest with you refereeing a game, such a high-profile game, Independent versus Hollington, as he was a former Independent player.
Wow! Are you finished, Jamal?
First things first. I just love the way Chris put it. You know, or maybe some players who shouldn't have missed penalties shouldn't have, which is basically him saying, "Raw, certain man let the team down." That's cool. I won't read into that.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
That's what I heard. Is that what he said? My bad, Chris. Sorry.
Yeah,
My
Chris,
bad.
you don't even know Jamal, so yeah, stay tight.
No, man. No. So sorry. So you repped the game, no?
I did.
Okay. And who appointed you to that thing? Sorry, you know what? Ignore that question. My bad.
Well,
So,
I mean, hey, but you know, I think it's a valid question. You know,
yeah, of course. If you didn't answer that question, I didn't expect any wet questions today. You know, it had to be proper questions, and you know, address elephants in the room and that. One, I've got the balls to do a game like this. If you know, all jokes aside, if Jamal needs a good referee to do a game, he will call me. All jokes aside.
Why are you bringing me into this?
No, Jamal. I'm just saying. There's times that he said, oh, "Yes, I need you to do this game or that game," and I made myself available and done it.
You know, we were really
Now, getting back to this, like I said, I've got the balls to do a game like this. It was a big game, and knowing both teams, I felt like, in terms of discipline and making sure that game went right, I felt there's good referees in the league. Those other high-profile games, i.e., Charcoal, Sporting, and so on and so forth. That and my game playing for Catford was cancelled, so I'm like, well, I could step in and do this game, and I did. So I know the 72 teams in this league. I have affiliation with most of them because I speak to them on a regular basis on so many numerous issues. Yes, I played for Catford, I played for Independent, I played for LSU. And since I got trained up by Jamal after now.
Oh my! Listen, that's twice now.
Hey, Jamal.
That's twice now.
Okay, listen. Since I got trained up by the London FA, I've done all my games with some sense of pride and integrity. When I put on the referee jersey, I referee with my head, not my heart. So there's no allegiance or conflict of interest anywhere. And it's always been that way. That's what we expect referees to do. That's how we expect referees to do. I was happy with my performance yesterday, for example, because once the game was done, let's go back to a few issues. I know about 60% of the boys in Independent because I play with Independent. I know some of the guys in Hollington as well. I played with Justin. I played with Dean Mack, Dean Lodge. Dean Mack and Dean Lodge are both referee colleagues, so I know them very well. And then a few other players. So I know both teams well. It's as simple as that. Now, after the game, I spoke to quite a few all around to try and get the perspective of how the game went in terms of the officials. I spoke especially with quite a few Hollington people, and I was happy with the response I got. I.e., I was fair and I was firm, and that's all that matters to me. There was always going to be people talking about, hey, Independent, you play for Independent, so you're going to be impartial. That's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. If I'm going to be partial in any game, I shouldn't be refereeing. It's as simple as that. You cannot pay me enough to cheat in a game, so I want to put that out there. So all that disrespectful comments. I don't
remember anybody using the C word. I think
hang on.
Conflict. Conflict was the C word used.
Jamal,
interest doesn't mean
Jamal, would you shut up for a second, please?
You were an exam invigilator.
Jamal, would you shut up for a second?
Your own child's exam paper. Not saying you would mark your child higher or lower. You're just saying if your child were to perform well and you were to give them a high mark, it would be a conflict of interest. No one said you would cheat. No one said you would cheat,
Well, that's what you don't know. So I didn't even want to go there, but some people thought I would cheat.
Who?
Do you want me to start naming names on
Don't say
here?
some people. Who do you mean?
Well, it's not your show, so I'd rather keep it on the wraps.
It's not your show either. I'm just saying.
Well, Tobrice is my friend and I respect him. So I wouldn't want to create a lot of nonsense on this show.
Well,
But I'm
you
just
should have brought it up then. I mean, hey,
well, he asked me the question.
No, well, you know, because you're right.
Jamal,
you took my referee course, and I would be offended if anyone thought that you'd be a cheat. Therefore, I want to know who called you a cheat. I want to know who thought you would cheat because
I'll text you.
Okay, cool. When you text me, I'll put it on air. Right? Cool.
I'll text you. But bottom line, there were some disrespectful comments prior to the game. After the game, like I said, even Marlon Patterson, who was on my case all afternoon, was an absolute twat. You know, we had some good words and praised and praises from him, which was really appreciated. Spoke to Dean Lodge, Dean Mack, one of the members of the management committee, and I was happy with the referee performance and like the referee officiating, including the ARs as a whole. So I'm happy with the way the game went. It went to penalties. When we talk about the game itself, it was a really good game, which is exactly what I expected in terms of both teams battling it out for every single decision, every single call. It was a physical game. It's exactly what I expected.
Okay.
And it needs someone with a cool head to be in the middle.
Okay, cool.
I feel I am a referee like that. I can keep my cool, regardless of affiliations or associations or people I know. So I did what I do best. I did what I've been taught to do, and that was it. Okay. So hopefully those disrespectful comments, they can shut it.
All right.
It's done. Let me carry on.
Jamal, I will let you get to you later. Let me go back to Chris.
Chris. One quick thing. We apologize for any choice language used by anyone.
Shut up, Jamal.
Okay. Any comments made by anyone wearing the badge today are of their own and do not represent the association.
Chris, which two players impressed you yesterday and why?
Well, there's a lot of impressive performances. I think Nathan at the back for Independent, he was really good yesterday. Had a good battle with Hollington's forward. Can't remember his name, but they had a really good battle. Nathan's such a good one-on-one defender. All game, really, really going out. I think they switched and put one of the, I think it was Andre, they put him up top in the second half to probably try and get someone with a bit of pace to go in behind, and he dealt with that as well. So whatever they throw at him, he's always really capable of dealing with it. He done really well yesterday, I thought. Obviously, Chewy next to him as well. He also played really, really well. I felt Dean Mack was really, really good yesterday. Superb. Some of his passing, some of his link-up play. He had a couple of chances as well. I felt if they were going to score, he was probably the most likely to break through, and I think he caused them a lot of problems. But there were lots of good performances all over the pitch, to be honest. But they're probably the two standout ones for me, I think.
And I'd love to get your opinion about this, Chris. Regarding the final for Independent, I think for me he's probably the most influential player in the league. And hear me out on this: if you take Nathaniel out of Independent, I believe you will lose 25% of literally what Independent do. I would actually love to get your opinion about that statement that I've just said.
Wow. To be honest, I don't know. I think Independent might disagree with you. I think they think they're a better side than that. But he is a really top player. So I'm not surprised that you would think that. He can really influence the team, the way he plays, the way he controls everything at the back for them. I still think they'd be a good side even if he wasn't there. But yes, he definitely does make a big difference and would do for any team. He's one of the best defenders in the league for sure.
Cool. Nana, let's kind of probably talk about, well, I don't know if it's kind of controversial, but Jones's disallowed goal. Could you kind of talk us through the kind of passage of play and literally your reasoning to actually disallow the goal?
So it was, from what I remember, it was a counter attack. It was a transition and ball over the top. Defender got there first. So I'm running. Jones is in front of me, and I'm running, towards play. The defender has hit the ball, somewhere in the midriff of Jonesy, but because I'm behind Jonesy, obviously I haven't seen any contact with the hand. So obviously I would have allowed the goal. However, once it's gone in, my AR has beckoned me over, and has said that even though the hand was tucked in, the ball had hit his hand. And the laws of the game state that, if you gain an unfair advantage, especially, in that final third and directly results in a goal, it has to be disallowed. So if the ball has hit his hand and the AR has seen it, it's handball. It was a cut and dry, thing for me. It wasn't. And I'm glad we had official ARs on the game. I league pointed ARs on the game, because it could have gone. Imagine if it was club appointed ARs, it would have been manic, because nobody would have.
I would like to have a discussion on the show, not now, in a future show, about because I think club assistant referees should be banned. I feel personally, but a separate conversation. I would love to hear from players if they would just prefer just a ref in comparison to club assistant referees. But that's a conversation for the future.
Okay, cool. I would say to you, Nana, that distance Jonesy to the ball was, there was like nothing Jonesy could actually do to literally get his hands out of the way. So it wasn't deliberate.
I agree, but that's the loss of the game for you. If it directly results in a goal, it has to be chalked off. We've seen an instant when was it Nottingham Forest against United? I'm not sure, but there was a game against United where I was watching. It was a similar instant, which the goal was actually allowed. And there's been instances when it's hit there's nothing you could do. Maybe like one yard away from you, but when it's in that final third and you gain an advantage of that ball hitting your hand and you directly score from it, the loss of the game say it has to be disallowed. So once my AR has seen it, I have no option than to disallow.
And Patterson, I know that you called him a certain word. I'm not going to repeat that live, but it was, kind of, like it kind of looked like it was getting very fiery in the first half. How did you deal with the first 20-25 minutes? And again, the booking for Patterson, could you literally explain that as well?
Like I said, after the game, we had a good conversation. He was full of praises, and I told him he was actually a pain in my, where. But this is exactly what I expected. He was questioning every single decision, even though some of them were clear cut and there was no need for it. However, this is what players do. I'm a player, so I know. Players do this just to get into the referee's head, to let the referee lose match control, to try and get them on their side, to try to let them question their decisions, etc., etc. But like I said, you need a calm head in games like these. For a game like this, for one caution, for that bad tackle, if I was being observed, I would feel that my observer would say I did well, because there was so many instances which, if it wasn't managed properly, it could have flared up. There was so many instances, from the touchline, on the pitch, everywhere. There's so many instances, but you need a calm head to try and calm things down and let the game flow. I tried to play advantage where I could and stop it if it didn't develop. I didn't want to be the center of attention. I wanted them to actually play football. So as soon as, for example, if there's a free kick, I'm not standing there to have a conversation with anyone. I give a free kick and I'm off. I'm on my bike. I'm gone. So you have no option but to play. You're not going to chase me over there to come and ask me what the issue is. And some of these are some of the techniques that I've learned along the way. To get the game flowing, get the game going, you stop it when you need to calm the temperature of the game, and to let it flow when you need to, so that the players actually enjoy it and play football. People around who came to watch, maybe like 50 people, that's what they want to watch. They want to watch football, not screaming and shouting and stopping the game and all sorts. So
okay. I've got I've got a few comments here. Nana, you're talking rubbish. You didn't see it. Neither did the linesman. So how can you give it? And Jonesy's come in and said Craig was in the linesman's eyesight, so no way he could have seen it.
Well, the air. So right now we don't call them linesmen again. We call them assistant referees. That's number one. Number two, he called me over because he'd seen something. So if he didn't see it, he wouldn't. And he has the best line of sight. Remember, it was a transition. It was a counter attack. I'm behind Jonesy. There's no way I could see whether the ball has hit Jonesy's hand or not. So I initially allowed the goal, and he beckoned me over. And when he said, this is what he explained, the ball, his hand is tucked in, but the ball has hit him on the hand, and it's directly scored from it. If it's hit his hand, there's no gray area around it. There's no accidental hitting of hand. There's nothing. It's scored directly from it. It's a foul. End of.
Okay. Chris, what were the strengths of Hollington in the first half, and literally what did Independent didn't do, and vice versa in the second half? What did Independent do good in the second half, and what did Hollington struggle with?
In the first half, I'll say Hollington started really quickly. They got the ball forward really quick. They played off the big man with the runners around him. They really put them under a lot of pressure, putting a lot of crosses into the box. They had quite a few corners. So they were really, really playing positively, trying to get the early goal, I guess. Independent were just doing very well just to manage it. They didn't seem too bothered or too phased by the pressure that they were under. They dealt with it really well, and they looked quite comfortable dealing with it as well, to be honest. The second half was probably a little bit different. I think Hollington did start quicker again, but I think Independent then sort of got into the game a little bit better. They started to get the wide boys involved and really started getting down the outside of them, without really creating too many chances, other than that sort of disallowed goal that they, if I'll be completely honest, I didn't see the handball either. I don't know what happened, but other than that, they didn't really create any clear-cut opportunities. But I think they definitely got more control of the game in the second half. They started to get on the ball a bit more in midfield. I think they brought Justin on in the midfield in the second half, and he started to get on the ball and really settled them down a bit. And once they the last 20 minutes, they looked a lot stronger, to be honest. And maybe it's just a result of Hollington not really being pushed in too many games this season. They've had it quite easy by the looks of the results. So, maybe that was a factor late in the game in terms of fatigue. But Independent looked like the stronger side in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes. So, that's how I saw it, I guess.
Cool. And what did you think about the state of the pitch?
It's what you expect. You're going to get better pitches. You're going to get some that are worse. You got to play what you get. And to be honest, I think that both teams dealt with the conditions pretty well. I don't think it was that bad a pitch. Probably not the sort of pitch you'd want to play a lot of slick passing football on, but it was still a good enough pitch to play on, and both teams dealt with it well, to be honest.
Cool. Where was the game played?
STC.
Jamal, so there's still a game to actually determine the other semi-finalists, but the teams who are still in the League Cup: Independent, Glebe, Charcoal, Wallenham, and Kawuya. Charcoal and Independent are playing in the semi-final. That's a certain. Who's favourite to win that tie and why?
Boy, listen, I don't think I think Independent and Charcoal are just in each other's way, and they're gonna have to go through each other to get to if anyone wants to win silverware this season, that's for sure. But yeah, what can I say? Whew. Chris Walker, a player, by the way. I remember Chris back in the day at Pitt. So I mean, yeah, definitely decision maker. But anyways, independent Charcoal. Here's the interesting thing. I think playing Charcoal, it seems as if whoever they play have a little bit of like either like psychological intimidation. It's like you're playing Charcoal, and they can be a force mentally to compete against. If Independent go into any game with Charcoal with that mentality, that plays in Charcoal's favor. It's very, very difficult because forget about the opposition. It's a semifinal, and who knows? They might get each other in the London Cup. You really, really need to treat it. It's so cliche, it's so corny, but you really have to treat it as just another game. I think if you try to go into it as it's the Charcoal, that favors Charcoal, and if you show any weakness against any elite team, they'll roll you over, and Charcoal will roll or Independent over. If Independent go into it with the right mindset, that maximizes the chances of winning. And also, I don't care what anyone says, grassroots, because this isn't non-league, this isn't professional. You don't get a bunch of tape, you don't get a bunch of scouting reports. It comes down to the management and the coaching staff seeing how the first half goes and making adjustments in the second half, and that will be down to Paul and the independent coaching staff to try and beat Charcoal. But wow, what a game! When is that game due to be played, by the way?
I'm not too sure. It's not been publicized yet. Nana, do you know when that game is?
No, it hasn't been put out as yet. I think Charcoal play Sporting next week.
I
don't know.
Yeah,
the game.
I'm playing.
Yeah, they play Santos next week.
Okay, cool. And Chrissy, I'm going to put you on the spot. Out of those teams that I mentioned, Independent, Glebe, Charcoal, Wallenham, and Kouya, who would you put as favorite to actually win the competition?
I think you would have to say Charcoal probably be the obvious favorites. I think Independent are right there with them. I think they're a good enough side to beat them as well. Anyone can win on the day, but they're probably the two best sides probably left in the competition, I would say.
Okay, cool. And Masters football. Again, we like talk a lot when we're at Catford, and actually your like knowledge is like vast. Where like do you see Masters football in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, to be honest, it's something that's really growing. I mean, it's not something that I thought I would ever consider doing. A few years back, I thought when I was finished with open age football, I didn't think I would get into this, but just the number of quality players and quality teams that are now involved, I think it is something that a lot of players will definitely look at, when they finish playing open age football. Even when they haven't, they may still decide to, jump into it because it is very competitive now, and it's enjoyable for us to still be able to go out and still play the game, see a lot of old faces, and and still be able to compete with each other. It's the main thing, is what we enjoy doing. So I can only see it getting bigger and better, to be honest.
What's wild about it? I think it seems as if, and someone correct me if I'm wrong here, it seems as if more men 35 plus are coming from non-league and pro straight into vets rather than going to open age for a few years, then coming into vets at 40, 41, 43. They're coming in at like 35 in 1 month, and therefore the quality, they're still, in a way, some of the ones who looked after themselves and have the genetic advantage are still in their prime in a way. And then also, one thing I would love to hear from some 50 pluses. Once again, it might be a different show. Sorry to Breeze, I'm coming up all these show topics. I would love to know anyone who's like 50 plus if the level of vets is actually higher now, or is it just getting more attention? Because no disrespect to all of you playing vets now, that's still a good question to ask. I know vets has been taken seriously by certain clubs over a decade ago, but now I don't know. Is it taken more seriously now? Is it more people dropping into vets in their prime now? Is it just the media attention and social media the difference? It's just a question, you know.
Yeah, interesting.
I think it's a bit of both, Jamal, because I joined vets maybe about what 8 years ago, 7, 8 years
but
ago.
we're talking about elite players, not you, though.
Shut up, man.
we're talking about
And I'm talking. Listen, I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about what I experienced refereeing in the league and playing the league.
But how long you been involved in vets now? Are you like 7 years, 8 years?
Yeah, 7, 8 years, I should say.
And what's been the transition since then? So from when you first started to now.
Well, I was with LSU and for Peckham Town.
Okay.
You know, changing to LSU to Independent, and obviously now they're in Division 1. But I'm saying what I was trying to say was that the level of competition when I joined, it was like I think Bromelians, they were the top sides. The Division 1, the distance between the Division 1 sides and the rest of the pack was huge. It was vast. It was a no contest. Even the Division 1 side met any other division. It was a whitewash. And there was very few teams which could, stand tall and put up a fight. But as you're saying, there's a lot of players. Independent, for example, look at them. It's like a Lambeth side. Most of the players are from Lambeth. Look at Catford. Most of these players, Hollington, they know each other. And they're coming in at a very early age. Like you said, 35 plus. As soon as they hit that age, they're already being tapped before they reach 35. So as soon as they hit 35, they're in here. And they are fit,
I think that's
strong.
the biggest difference. Because I feel like vets, because I know you kind of milked it and said, oh, people used to call it walking football or whatever. I never heard anyone say that. But there was definitely more bad knees and bad backs when I used to watch vets football when I was a teenager. Now, I'm not really seeing that. I'm seeing guys looking good. I'm seeing protein shakes. I'm seeing flat stomachs. I'm like, wait a second, what's happening here? Okay.
Exactly. True. It's a good competition, and any of the top teams in the Division 1 can beat any open age team as it stands, on a good day. So
very true. Guys, honestly, thank you so much, Chris Walker. Thank you for coming on. I will be getting you on a lot more often.
Thanks for having me, Tabrice. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And again, thank you to everyone that's watching. We are going to go straight into the hold on. Let me put it up there. We're gonna go straight into the semi-final live draw.
Tabrice, can we discuss the pictures that are used here? Because I'm like, I just don't understand. Like,
you know what?
Whenever you choose a picture of Nana, it's my God. Picture. When you choose a picture of me, it's an issue. Like,
no, Jamal. I've had the same words with him. My pictures are always rubbish. He goes and takes them from somewhere and just posts it like it's rubbish. So go ahead and tell him.
Nana, I actually blame you because, like you said, you and Tabrice are good friends. You're supposed to be advising him. Then on top of that,
I do, but he doesn't listen to me. So,
like, you know what? It's cool. It's fine.
It's all right. It's okay. But hey,
it's all right, Tabrice.
I try. But again, I just want to thank Chris for coming on. I know Nana and Jamal will continue to be on the feed. And see what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna add Blue. He's a player from Shepherd's Bush, aka Shibu, onto the show. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother. How are you doing?
Good. Cannot complain.
Just one correction. I'm not a player. I'm the chairman.
Oh wow! Apologies. Okay, so literally,
I'll go my P's and Q's for flip six. Come on.
Apologies. So,
see, what I heard was get my title right next time you address.
I know, literally.
That's what I heard.
Nah.
Well, actually, you know what? To be honest, it says at the bottom, club founder and chairman. So, yeah, that's a kind of rookie Rookie mistake. To be absolutely honest with you. Okay, so this is how we're gonna do this. Jamal, you are going to send me the names of the teams, and then I'm gonna add them to the random wheel, and then the random wheel is gonna be visible to everyone that's on the feed. So let's see, we are gonna do this live. So there's like gonna be a few back and forth, but it is what it is. We will literally kind of get this done. But literally, as we're kind of getting this done, Blue, could you briefly talk to us about the history of FC Shepherd's Bush?
Okay, well, the club was founded by myself. When it was originally founded, it was about getting youths off the streets, but using football as a tool. At the time when I was doing it, there wasn't many people doing the same type of thing. Basically stemmed from Shepherd's Bush. Most of the players that we had were from in and around Shepherd's Bush and the local area, Harrow Road, Ladbroke Grove, Acton, so on and so forth. We had a few ex-pros back then, and some of my friends who the youngsters used to look up to. So we thought we'd use that and try and engage with them. Again, using football as a tool, because everybody wants to play football. We've had a good few success stories, I'd say, because we've saved a few, and that's the main thing. Even if you save one, you've still done something great. So that's the main thing, and that's we were originally an open age team, but obviously as I got older, the demand for myself to play was vets in it. So I was playing for a few other vets teams. I didn't like how they ran, and I knew I could do better. So I started up the club, and it was back again. Well, restarted, I should say.
Okay.
And we became vets.
And again, you're like running the London Cup at this present moment in time is pretty impressive. There's like certain things that we can't talk about, but I mean, again,
yeah.
Could you kind of name a few players that are literally on the roster?
We got a few ex-pros: Dean Morgan, DJ Campbell, Marcus Bean.
DJ Campbell.
There are a few. Yeah.
I thought he was in West London or
That's
London.
Okay, right. So we could go to that topic of conversation. I see Jamal.
No, because I played against him
So when you played against him, you would have seen me on the sideline.
All right.
But basically, it was a rename for one season. Because there was some politics. I don't want to go into it too much. Just politics regarding entering a league and so on and so forth. We won't dabble in it. We'll leave that where it is. But it was always Shebu. That was always Shebu. Just a rename so that we could run without any blocks, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't make sense to me. So if you want to go into some more detail, that'd be fantastic.
Listen, Jamal, behave yourself. This man, listen. He's the one always begging me, please, no, why? Doesn't have to be this way. And now he's talking all of this.
Exactly.
but no, it's not nothing deep on my behalf. It's just politics. Football's full of politics. So we'll just leave it there. We're just trying to keep it as love, because that's what football is about for me. And it's a universal language. We're supposed to bring people together, and I just want to keep it running like that. And anything I do, I want it to be cohesive to that.
Okay, cool. And one more question. I mean, again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but South and West teams regarding like the Masters football, they seem to be ruling London right now. And there's a kind of slight grudge as well.
Yeah, it's always been the way, to be fair. Yeah, I don't see, there's never usually that same rivalry with East and West or South and East, and it's usually just South and West what have that kind of real grudge and kind of battle between over the years and stuff. I think it's through childhood as well, to be honest with you. Just growing up, there was always a rivalry between the sides, always has been. Sometimes not so friendly, sometimes friendly.
Yeah. No, No, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, okay. So just to let you guys know, let's kind of get this done live. So apologies about this. Let me share screen. All right. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. All right. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So we have Charcoal, Independent, and the West Fulham versus Shepherd's Bush tie. Jamal, is that right?
Yeah, so just to be clear, we'll go through the list. Quarterfinal 1 was played between Charcoal and SP Athletic. Charcoal won that 11-1. So their name is in the hat. Quarterfinal 2, Independent were 4-2 winners over Herne Bay Vets. So Independent are in the semifinal hat. Quarterfinal 4, Groundhoppers knocked out Raiders Lane 3-0. So they're in the hat. As everyone can see, West Fulham and Shepherd's Bush was quarterfinal 3. That match was abandoned. Under no circumstance will that match be discussed this evening. Just to be clear to everyone, there was an open, active investigation into the outcomes of the incidents that took place that afternoon. Just to be clear to everyone, as I run the competition, I am not involved in the investigation in any way, shape, or form. It's an independent investigation conducted by the London FA Disciplinary Department, which is then carried out by a hearing by no one who was involved with London FA in an official capacity as an employee. So that is how the disciplinary process works, just to ensure that the investigation is as independent and unbiased as possible. So I am not involved in the investigation at all. And out of courtesy for that investigation, no one on this show will be discussing the incidents that took place on that match under any circumstances. So as a result of that, even though it's a semi-final draw, that is why there are 5 names in the hats. Okay.
Right.
And Blue, if you get through to the semi-final,
you need to add Groundhoppers into the wheel.
Do I? Oh, sorry, apologies. Groundhoppers as well. Ground. Yeah. So Blue, if you do get through to the semi-final, what's the one team that you'd love to play, and why?
I think we've played Independiente in the past, so wouldn't mind seeing them again, because it was a good game. It was, competitive and stuff. I've seen Charcoal a few times now, and we've actually, one of the players who's signed to us also plays for Charcoal, but he doesn't play for us in the London Cup. He only plays for Charcoal, and he plays for us in all other cups and league competition, but he plays for Charcoal in their league and stuff. But I don't really have a preference, to be honest.
How does that work?
No, you could just let it go. You couldn't let it
go.
You couldn't let it go.
You can play in any competition as long as it's not the same league.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But when the crossover comes in terms of the cup competitions,
if you play for one team in the cup competition, which he stated from the beginning, the get-go, that he won't be able to play for us in the London Cup, he only plays for Charcoal, but he plays for us in all other county cups and league cup, and represents us in the league.
Right. Okay.
Cool. And shout out to Charcoal, just to remind Jamal where Groundhoppers were in the tie. And again, this is the reason why we do everything live. This is the reason why we do everything live.
Oh man.
So hey, all right. Okay, is like everyone ready?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the first name out of the hat.
Okay, first name out of the hat is the holders, the Charcoal. The Charcoal. So Charcoal haven't been knocked out of the London Cup for 2 seasons. Only game they've lost was in the final to West Fulham, and they won last season against West Fulham. Charcoal are the current holders.
And they will be playing. You can't make this up. You can't make this up.
You can't make this up,
man. You can't make this.
Hey, listen, that's how football works. That's how football works. It's the business.
Playing
That's the business.
independent.
So I think I have a date for that as well. Let's have a quick look.
Okay. So I'm gonna spin the wheel to let's see who's playing home.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh man.
Groundhoppers. Of course, they will be playing West Fulham or Shepherd's FC Shepherd's Bush. Blue, what's your first initial feeling about the draw?
Pissed this one. Well, to be fair, all of the rest of the teams were on the on Saturday teams, right? So now we have to play on a Saturday because it's their home draw. So that's my first thing.
Okay.
But I'm not really worried about the opposition. I didn't get to finish prior. It doesn't really matter. You got to beat the best to win in it. So whoever you're drawn, you just got to do what you got to do. So it didn't matter who we got. You got to beat everybody to win anyway.
Cool. And Charcoal want to know dates.
Yeah, so the Charcoal will be hosting Independent on Saturday, the 18th of February.
Okay, so that's a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The dates are already preset before the season, so the dates are always preset on the 22nd of July for the whole entire season. So yeah.
And Nana, your initial thoughts about the draw?
You can't make this shit up, man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. If we don't have a game, I'm definitely gonna be there to watch. And can I just say that I've had enough aggro for a while. So even in the cup game for the South Invest League, I'm not refereeing that game. I'll happily be a spectator.
Why not? Why not? You refereed lost, so why are you stopping now?
If you were to appoint me on that game, I would do it. I have no qualms, no issues.
I wouldn't appoint you to that game, though.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, like, it would be nice to be a spectator and stay on the sidelines, and because not everybody appreciates what we try to do. I mean, all jokes aside, not everybody appreciates what we try to do. When you wear the jersey, you feel like when you wear the referee kit, you feel like you want to do a good job. But
all right, okay, so are you saying that you are not going to referee any of the games of now until the end of the season in the London Cup? The
London Cup, I have no choice of who of being appointed or not. Is the league is the South Invest League that obviously as the referee secretary, I appoint the referees, but Jamal does the appointments for the London Cup. So if he was to say, "Well, you are referee or you are AR or something," I have no choice but to do it.
Which wouldn't happen.
Which wouldn't happen.
I wouldn't be putting any active Vets player who's also a ref to referee into the Vets Cup. Nothing to do with their performance. Just once again, it's the perception of conflict of interest. To be honest with you, and no matter who would referee, any referee who would referee a semifinal will be refereeing as impartially as they can. But once again, if they were to make a mistake, everyone needs to understand that it's a genuine mistake and not because anything else.
Yeah, there's any agenda.
Yeah, exactly. Paul says it's a fix,
Well, I mean, of course, Paul would say that, wouldn't he? So
you gotta love Paul,
That is what it is. Blue. Apart from your team, who else are like strong teams within the West?
West Fulham. I think the other teams what I know of, like I think is it Chelsea United Vets. I think they're quite strong. West Middlesex Wanderers, but they're not in the London Cup. Those are the Oh, Shire, a really strong team as well, actually.
Okay. And actually, where would you rank your team with those teams that you just mentioned?
The best.
Okay.
Man saying that with his chest.
Hey.
Yeah,
man.
chest, B. I ain't gonna rate any team over my team. Never. Not gonna happen.
Of course, man. Joey's gonna ask Blue. Obviously, I don't know you, so
Yeah.
Could you tell us a bit about your footballing background quickly, please?
To be fair, my football background isn't that deep. I played a little semi-pro when I was younger. I was more into athletics. I ran for my parent country, Grenada and stuff. But I've always been a sporty person. But music is my main passion and love when it comes to anything. But my football background isn't that deep. I loved watching the game. My real love came from watching my uncles. There was a club, which is where I got the name from. The concept of what I do from. It was a club, a community centre called Simba All Stars. A lot of the elders would know that team, like the D's, Dauntlers and stuff. They're from that era and that generation, Hawkeye and all of that, those clubs. But they were massive. They were big. They used to go around battering professional teams and so on and so forth. They didn't get to where they should get in the game, but I used to love watching my uncles play week in, week out. Some quality, serious ballers. But that's my history. And obviously I've got a lot of friends and family who've gone on to play pro and some who haven't because of the road, which is why, again, I started the whole club thing to try and deter young people from a life of crime and get into something more positive, use their skills.
Okay, and
Appreciate it.
Paul wants
Bless
to
you, man.
know the league that you play in.
Oh, we play in Middlesex County Football League at present. We were originally in the Chiswick district, but that folded, and they handed over to the Middlesex County Football League. Again, not to say much. It's not been the greatest this season because there have been a few teething issues because they still run off the whole Mitu system, which is just a dinosaur in my opinion, and it's generally the whole game system. So they're running two systems, so you have to basically register and sign up on two platforms, which makes no sense because the other one is not really relevant in the game now as it stands, but they just make you jump through hoops and there's a lot of fines and this. So we lost a lot of teams. We started off with like 13 teams, and now we've only got, I think, 6 in the league. So it's kind of crazy. So we're trying to think about what is next for next season, but we're currently having conversations about that. So we'll see what happens for next year.
Okay. Jonathan Brown, question to you, Jamal. Any idea when Groundhoppers will play either West Fulham or Shepherd's Bush?
No.
I was waiting for that answer myself.
Okay. 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 No, nothing.
Love that, Jamal.
All right. And to you, Blue. I mean, I think Jamal was talking about the changes in like Vets Masters football. Have you seen differences regarding quality and the kind of willingness just to jump from pro, semi-pro straight into Vets?
100%. I think he's spot on when it comes to when he's saying about the level is definitely. I definitely not even think from what I see week in, week out when I watch open age football and Vets football, the quality is completely different. The level is way up there in Vets football because it's not about majority of when you get the better teams in the Vets teams. It's not about your athleticism. It's about your brain and movement and formation and technique and so on and so forth. Whereas most of the open age teams, it's more about athleticism and running and speed and so on and so forth, which doesn't make you better.
Yeah, true. And Jamal, as the kind of cup organizer, how excited are you, regarding this year's competition, and what can we expect in years to come?
I have some ideas that I haven't really shared with any of you yet in regards to future competitions, mostly because the ideas are quite exciting. They may not happen, and I know if I told you, I would, you'd probably be too excited. You tell everyone else or other people. But in terms of the competition, I just think so many people, including the three of you on the show, and so many other people watching, you guys are making the Vets Cup final one not to miss. And it doesn't really matter. It's almost like the Champions League final, the World Cup final now. It doesn't matter who's in the final. You just want to see the final. Vets football has always been kind of unique because youth football, you got a range of ages from under 12s to under 18s. Sunday football, you got a range of cups, but there's only one Vets Cup. There's only one Vets Cup, and I just think there's just so much ability, so much experience, so much talent. I'm looking forward to it as always. Even with the semi-final draw, you have Charcoal Independent. Probably good enough to be a final on its own. What's going to happen? Is Independent gonna beat them? Or Charcoal going to get to the third straight final? West Fulham still in the hat, potential to get to a third straight final as well. Are those two going to meet in the final again? Then you have Shabu in there, Groundhoppers in there. Are one of them going to get to the final? And it really doesn't matter of those 5 teams, no matter which 2 you put together. I think you're going to have a really interesting final.
Okay. A few more questions. I don't know if anyone wants to answer this. And predictions on the final. Does anyone want to answer?
Well, it's kind of hard for me to answer, but I'm going to answer as if we are going through to the next round. Then I'm saying we're in the final, and I think it will be versus Charcoal.
Okay. And Paul come in and said, what have you won?
Who? Our team, Shepherd's Bush?
Yeah, yes.
We've won all the leagues we've been in. This is probably the furthest we've got in the London Cup. Not for want of trying. It's just been, I think that the players what we've wanted consistently have never been available. We've had a much more deeper pool of the quality players at our disposal this season for the cups, the county cups, which we're still in, the Surrey, obviously London, we're in the Sal Cup as well. So we're still in all of those.
Cool. And Big Talk to said Vets football is much better, more experienced players, open age players would just run into a brick wall 100 miles an hour, which is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Guys, honestly, thank you so much for you guys coming on. Blue, again, I will be getting you on later on.
Cool, man.
To be kind of talking about your career a little bit more and other things. Jamal and Nana, again, thank you always for coming on. And again, thank you to everyone that kind of always tunes in. Just to let you guys know, I have a show next week. Some really, really exciting guests. And again, thank you to everyone that's been following the amateur football journey from the start. Okay, all right. Before we go, I think there's someone that's coming and said, who do you play for, Paul? Nana, do you wanna kind of think about on Paul's behalf?
Chip Zeno, Chip Zeno. Hey, all right, unique.
That's one of our players.
Oh, okay.
I
thought you were gonna go into detail about who the player was, but no.
No, I'm not gonna.
Oh, okay, all right.
Maybe we'll get him on the show. It depends.
Yeah. I'm kind of liking this kind of little friendly banter. But Nana, we can't hear you. No. You've run out of battery.
Before we leave, I want to say one thing as well before we finish as well.
Yep, go on. Yep.
No, let's deal with this first. We haven't got the answer yet.
Nana,
I think it's conveniently cut out. Yeah. Technical hitch.
Okay. All right. Well, literally, Paul was coming and said assistant manager of Independent FC. So, wow. And literally, Paul has come and said, I will ask you again, what have Shibu won? Wow.
I think I answered. Did I not answer? Maybe they got a technical hitch with their equipment as well.
So, what is it that you want to say, Blue, before we go?
Oh yeah, so I just wanted to give a shout out. Recently, my dad passed, so I just wanted to give a shout to everybody who sent all their best wishes to me through the club, Instagram, and so on and so forth. Big up everybody, and I'll big up our sponsors, Jeff's Flowers, Visionary Tax, and who's the last one? Lost my head. Logitech. Thank you very much. And big up all you, man, on the show as well. Thank you for having us.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you're back.
You're back.
Yeah, no comment.
Actually, Blue, where can we find you? I like you guys on social.
Insta. Yeah, we're on Insta, Facebook, FC Shebu Stars.
FC Shebu Stars. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
FC Shebu Stars. FC SHEBU STARS.
Okay, great stuff. We can definitely looking you guys up.
Cool, man.
Again, guys, honestly, thank you so much. Again, thank you to everyone that's just been supporting the platform. We will be back next week, Sunday, 8:00 again, live. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, share, do all of the great stuff. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bro, you have to change Jamal's picture,